I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. The debate continues.
Yes, more debate. Makes us happy, or at least me.
We're on
Jeff gets frustrated with me.
KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. So states like California trying to ban federal agents from wearing masks. Well, a judge overturned it in part because it's so not fair in the sense that it requires federal agents to remove their masks but allows state agents, law enforcement, to do so. So on its face, it's going to be rejected. But should law enforcement be allowed to wear masks? And as a kind of limited government guy, there's part of me that goes, well, no, I don't want them wearing masks. I think it's important to be able to identify who's policing us. But at the same time, I think the left is wildly violent. There's an 8,000% increase in death threats against ICE agents, more than 1,300% increase in assaults against them. So when I look at the yahoos running these bills, it's not about limited government. It's about allowing ICE agents to be doxxed so that these leftist agitators can go out there and intimidate, harass, stand outside their house, bully their family members to try to get them to stop being ICE agents. And so I go, you know what? In this case, in light of the threats they're getting from the left, yeah, you should be allowed to wear a mask to protect your identity. Let's go to the phone lines. Tom in Denver. Good morning, Tom. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for holding.
No worries. Good morning, gentlemen.
So continue. Talk to us about the idea of masks and law enforcement. You have years and years and years of experience, protecting our streets and keeping them safe and wearing that badge. And thank you so much for putting your life on the line for us, even for weirdos like me. I appreciate you. But talk to me about what you're seeing in the tactics, what local law enforcement has access to. Just give us the benefit of your experience.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for the kind words. So that being said, there was some concern about the equipment and the appearance. It's a two-pronged answer. First off, anybody coming out of the academies these days is taught officer presence. You want your uniform looking sharp. You want to look like you're a professional. You want to look like you're ready to do business. That doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to throw down, but if somebody is going to think about getting aggressive with you, they need to second guess themselves because your appearance throws off that, all right, I can take care of myself. So taking that to the next level, you got experienced law enforcement officers out in the field, including ICE and other agencies. Their kit, I can tell you that a lot of city agencies, you mentioned earlier suppressors, whatever your feelings are on those one way or the other, that is your opinion, and you're certainly welcome to it. But it is offered as standard kit for many city agencies, a bunch of county, and I know Colorado State Patrol. You look in the cruisers of any of the Colorado State Patrol, they all have suppressors on the front of their rifles. It keeps the noise down, especially with some folks who, not all troopers are gun guys or gun girls. Guns go off, people flinch, and that's what they're primarily designed for. Also, you have ear protection. You can lose hearing in the middle of a gun battle, so that's why the suppressor's there. Anyhow, kit, they're all-ish. Everybody's got helmets in the back of their cars. We're all wearing body armor. I think the biggest intimidation factor that you're seeing on the federal level is these guys are rolling out in camouflage and the face masks. This might be an unpopular opinion amongst my brothers and sisters in law enforcement, but I tend to agree. There needs to be some way to identify an agent, not necessarily their name out there, but perhaps a code number or whatever that you can later identify who that officer was that did something good or did something bad. Same thing with body-worn cameras. I think that body-worn cameras should be out there. Me personally, it's gotten me out of more trouble than it's got me more into. You guys were talking earlier about interceding in acts of aggression when law enforcement officers
let me stop you right there just for a second. This is Tom from Denver, longtime law enforcement here in Denver that is joining Jeff and Bill. And one of the earlier conversations was about directives for local police to possibly intervene when they feel that ICE is overstepping the bounds or getting too aggressive. Okay, so continue. What's your opinion on that, and what do you hear?
No worries. Now, it comes down to schoolyard tactics. If you look at any of these ICE incidents, there's way more of them than there are of local LE, good, bad, or indifferent. The challenge here in Colorado is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was Senate Bill 217. I might have the number wrong on that, senior moment, but that is now law, where if law enforcement witnesses another law enforcement officer using excessive force, they have a duty to intervene. If it comes to the point where they have to pull another law enforcement officer off a subject, handcuff, detain, we are expected by law to intervene. The law does not differentiate between local, state, or feds, so that law is already on the books. To say somebody has to intervene now in excessive force or propose a law, there's already a law on the books for it.
There you go. That's the insight we've all been looking for.
And I appreciate what you said about the silencers, Tom, and thank you so much, because that was what my friend said was he was dying for those when he was deployed in Iraq, and it was because of the noise. It was when they were in close quarters and they're going house to house. He said the noise coming out of the muzzle is ridiculous, and you end up with ringing ears days afterwards if you're in that firefight in close quarters. That's what his thing is. He's like, that's why they're using them, is because he's saying they're anticipating a firefight internally inside of those houses. That's a tough one, and I appreciate it. And thanks for the call, Tom. The idea that while all of these tools are available, you don't always put each and every one of them on, and perhaps the appearance of fatigues and lack of identification leads to some of the distrust, because it is an anonymous police force right now.
Or just allow the bad guys you caught and put in jail the opportunity for ICE to come pick them up instead of having to go door to door to find these guys. All right, now is time for the news.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good morning. Tuesday, 36 and partly cloudy in Denver. 31 in the Springs, expecting highs in the low 50s today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, Elon reposted something last hour that says after Thomas Massie viewed the unredacted files and pushed for transparency, the DOJ is now unredacted billionaire Lex Wexner's name. He appears as a co-conspirator. Wexner is the founder of L Brands, parent company of Victoria's Secret. He gave Epstein power of attorney over his finances and gifted him the largest private home in Manhattan. Accusers have long claimed Epstein used Victoria's Secret as a recruiting tool, with associates posing as modeling scouts to lure young women. For years, Wexner avoided scrutiny, while Maxwell took the fall alone. He is now officially listed as a co-conspirator alongside Ghislaine Maxwell. The redactions were protecting him. DJT on with Larry Kudlow last hour talking about the midterms.
You know, we have a fake news that doesn't get the word out. That's why I love doing an interview. We get the word out. Mm-hmm. But so you ask a question. In 50 years, a president that's won, even a popular president, somebody that's done well. I'm popular and I've done well. I mean, I think we have the greatest economy actually ever in history. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. That's said by everybody. We have the hottest country in the world. I guess I have to sell that because we should win in a landslide, and we'll do everything we can to do it.
Hope so. And he goes off on Fed Chair Jerome Powell, blowing $4 billion on a redo of the Fed.
It's the most expensive construction job ever built anywhere in the world per square foot. It's crazy. And they're either corrupt, which somebody's corrupt, has to be, or grossly incompetent. Now, we know he's incompetent, but the question is he corrupt?
Yes, and the Fed is corrupt. I doubt the oligarchs are pitching in. Homeland Security officials will be on Capitol Hill soon for a House hearing. Representatives from ICE, Border Protection, and Citizenship and Immigration Services will appear before a House panel. Let the theater begin. That should be interesting. The search for the mother of Today's Show host, Savannah Guthrie, is in its 10th day now in southern Arizona. A ransom deadline for Nancy Guthrie has come and gone, with authorities confirming that no payment was made as of 5 o'clock on Monday. The 84-year-old Guthrie was first reported missing from her home on February 1st. Already, time has passed so quickly after she missed church service. The opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge between Detroit and Windsor is being threatened by DJT. He posted that the bridge won't open until the U.S. has been fully compensated for everything we've given to Canada. I love that. By the way, The Great Gordie Howe, the first chapter book I've ever read as a kid. Great hockey player and great book, by the way, if you have any youngins that are just starting to read. The streaker at the Super Bowl was a millionaire.
Yeah, what was that?
The Super Bowl 60 streaker. Sunday's game between the Patriots and Seahawks with 12 minutes left turns out as ex-Dunkin' worker turned Miami social media influencer and day trader Alex Gonzalez, a.k.a. Alex G. He had the words "trade with Athena" painted onto his chest and back, seemingly connected to his Forex online trading enterprise. Gonzalez, who was tapped to the ground by Patriots receiver Kyle Williams before being dragged off the field, streaked the Super Bowl in Vegas 2 years ago as well. Natalie Rodriguez, Miami.
All right. So hold on a second. I got to talk about this. One, did you watch the video?
I did not.
Okay.
No, I saw the photos. I saw the photos. 80 yards. Mm-hmm.
He goes all the way from one end zone basically to the other end zone, which is a massive security failure at the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Okay. Secondly, how'd this guy get allowed to come in again? I swear. I've been told if you run on the field, you're banned from all future NFL games.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what the charges are, but, I agree with you. It's horrible.
And didn't the NFL at one point stop Dave Portnoy from being able to attend games? Like they would go in and pull him out? But this guy is allowed to go in?
Yeah, I mean, they need to throw the book. If he's a millionaire, he can afford,
He's 26.
All the chargers. Yeah, whatever. I mean, the only good thing he did, he provided an actual exciting play during the Super Bowl. That was probably the highlight for all those non-football fans in the stadium.
That is exactly right. And security couldn't catch him until the Patriots guy did. And then once the Patriot guy took after him, he finally slid down. He's like, I'm not messing with these guys.
I actually got it. So he chased him down.
Well, so this guy goes 80 yards. I mean, it's like the entire length of the field, right?
To be lit
and
up,
all these security guys can't keep up with them, and they're all diving and all this stuff. And then, they get to the Patriots guy, and the Patriots guy puts in just a little bit of effort, just a little bit towards him, and he's just like, he slides down. He's like, I'm done. I'm done.
The Patriot player, again, is a professional defender, and he took the right angle. If you've ever played
receiver, wasn't it?
I mean, whoever it is, again, he had the angle proper because you watch the security guards, and the security guards are chasing the point where the guy is, not the point where the guy is going.
True.
The Patriot went to where the guy's going and cut off his pathway. It was classic defensive maneuver, and I'm sure even as a wide receiver, you've got to do some of that stuff as well. But either way, he took an angle. Yeah,
and the receiver is a world-class athlete who runs 5 times faster than that guy. I don't care how good a shape he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta look at that. So he probably ran him down. I just saw the photos, and he looks like he's in great shape or whatever. But man, they've got to throw the book at him because you don't know if a guy like that has a bomb on him or
no.
God only
This is crazy.
knows.
I do. Have you guys seen all the videos coming from the guys dressed as bushes during the halftime
yes.
show?
Yes, those have been fantastic.
That's what I was laughing at yesterday. Yeah.
That plus one guy signed up for Strava and had his little Strava watch going on, so you
Yes.
can watch him as a little bush move around on his Strava account, which is what people do when they go for a run.
It's very funny.
I think it would have been great. Sorry, Billy. I think it would have been great if they just all the bushes just spread out and just started, gyrating like all the dancers.
I gotta admit,
Dancing bushes.
I thought they were going to dance, honestly, because there's a shot just a couple minutes before halftime, and you can see, I don't know if it's before the game or if it's just before halftime, but there's a shot where you're standing there and you're like, those are people dressed as bushes. And so my first thought is, are we getting dancing bushes? What the hell's going on with this one? I'm real interested. Is some sort of Lion King type thing we're doing here, this Disney thing where all of a sudden the bushes are dancing and the clocks are dancing?
That would have been family entertainment.
Yeah, it'd been like a Beauty and the Beast moment. I don't know. I was
family
curious.
friendly, instead of the pornographic lyrics in Spanish.
Yeah, those lyrics are coming out. That's not good.
Well,
yeah,
this is the thing is, let's say that I'm kind of casting a skeptical side eye on those claims because the Spanish speakers that I know didn't say anything about, oh my God, I can't believe Bad Bunny said X. 2, Bad Bunny knows that there are certain, and at least his handlers know there are certain things you can and can't say on broadcast TV, even if you're saying them in Spanish. I am hard pressed to think that the people in his camp would allow him to go on there and say the really graphic stuff that will get him popped by the FCC. Now, the FCC investigates. Yeah, I admit, but they're investigating The View and they're investigating all the late night talk show hosts too. So I'm not saying that's against anything that they can do. I'm just super skeptical because the people that I know that speak Spanish, I haven't asked them about every single word and every single line. They said that some of the more provocative language and lyrics, he changed the words. One of my friends, and I've used it with one of the text messengers today, said in portions of the song, he went with the Kids Bop version.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not a native Spanish speaker, so I have no idea.
Guys, I just found this Alex guy on Instagram. Okay. He wore Meta glasses while he streaked.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So check this out. You got to go
really
check
cool.
this out. This is wild. So he and his buddy do it at the same time. Well, he has a friend jump first, okay? So his friend jumps first, gets tackled. He runs right by because the security guys are all focused on his friend. Then the dude's wearing medical. I'm watching it right now. He's like running down. You can see everybody run. Then you get these guys out in front. He dodges them. Then he runs by the ref. And then, oh my gosh. So
the first guy's a decoy. I'm seeing that too.
Yeah,
he's the
FX
decoy.
Alex G is the Instagram account. FX Alex G wearing Ray-Ban Meta glasses. That's so normal.
He is. Okay,
Oh my gosh. This is
man.
legendary. I know this guy should totally be prosecuted, but to watch a Super Bowl streak on Meta glasses?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, wow. Helmet cam.
Yeah, helmet cam.
And the guys are trying to get out there.
The official just steps out on him. That is hilarious. I just saw it. Oh man! Yeah, I'm throwing the book at him, but that was fun to watch. The biggest play in Super Bowl LIX. Oh man, or LX, whatever. 31 in the Springs, 36 in Denver. More of the Jeff and Bill show ahead. That is the official Oh, my goodness. That is funny. Oh, my goodness. Jeff and Bill continue. News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver, now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1. The Answer in Colorado Springs. All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Cooler, cloudier weather for the Front Range of Colorado as we go through the day today. We had some cooler Pacific air coming from the north late yesterday and overnight, so you feel it being a little bit cooler and cloudier out there, but we're still cut off from any good moisture chance today and Wednesday. But another Pacific front is going to bring Denver and Colorado Springs a little bit of snow and rain shower activity as we get into Thursday night and Friday, as we're finally seeing high pressure break down and allowing Pacific energy and moisture into the region. Since it is Pacific air coming, it's not really cold though. We don't have any connection to Canadian air, so temperature readings, while cooler, are still going to be very mild for February, with those temperature readings still averaging well above average, even though we cool off a little bit at times this week, with a little bit of high pressure sneaking in for the weekend. Highs will be mainly 50s today and tomorrow, nighttime lows 30s. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Billy Joan from Lakewood saying that we are not correct in our assessment that the man was streaking because he had pants on. Joan disappointed in the fact that the man remained with pants on. Although everybody's calling this guy the streaker.
Yeah. So. Although Joan is absolutely right. He is only shirtless, which I think that she has every reason to be upset and angry. Now, here would be the reason, though, and okay, I apologize to everybody, both The Answer and KNUS, about what I'm going to say. Please don't.
We already had a meeting yesterday about your behavior.
But we already did. Yes, exactly. So I'm trying to tamp this down a little bit. But I think Joan has a real serious complaint, and this is what I'm saying: that if, say, someone else, like, I don't know, myself. Me, with this slop that I have as a body right now. I go out there and I start running all naked down the Super Bowl field. Yes, you have a right to call, complain. People need eye bleach. It's awful. There are kids throwing up and going, "Mommy, why it hurts?" Yeah, I get it. But this dude, he's in much better shape than I am. I'm just saying that there may have been some ladies in the audience that might have been excited if at least he was just wearing a thong. And I can appreciate that. I'm not saying I would be excited about it. I'm just saying that it would be totally different, and Joan's opinion, I think, would be totally different if it was, say, me running through the audience. Nobody wants to see that. I see myself in the mirror, and this is not for sharing.
This guy has made this a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the whole story. He's got the video. It was done wearing Meta glasses. He gets interviewed after he comes out of jail. He's got pictures of it all, and it looks like he got in by disguising himself.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, anybody that goes into major sporting events or even concerts knows that it is incredibly difficult for them to vet you at the door if you didn't buy the tickets. If you're not the purchaser, it's really hard for them to vet you at the door. Just saying. I might know someone that has an issue. And it's not me. Stop looking at me that way, Jeff. It's not me.
7143, you guys are making me laugh. Thanks for letting me call in. That was the law enforcement guy.
Dude,
being checkered. He wore pants. Man, I had a lot of respect for this guy when I thought he was sliding around out there without pants on. All right, let's
grass
go.
stains and raspberries.
Modern rugged leather. From city streets to mountain trails, your gear should go wherever life takes you. That's why at Modern Rugged Leather, every bag is handcrafted from premium, responsibly sourced leather. Designed to look sharp, last long, and tell a story of its own. Each stitch, buckle, and strap reflects timeless craftsmanship and is backed by a lifetime warranty, because quality shouldn't quit when the adventure begins. This is by far the best leather bag I've ever owned. It is beautiful. So whether it's the boardroom or the back roads, Modern Rugged Leather helps you carry confidence every step of the way. Modern Rugged Leather, modern style, timeless durability, backed for life. Ladies, for a man in your life, if you got him one of these leather bags, he would love it. This is a great gift out there. Life's going to take you places. Make sure your gear keeps up. Shop the full collection and find yours today at modernrugged.com. Modernrugged.com. All right, coming up, Billy and I going to provide some insight on whether or not we're heading to war with Iran. Man, talk about a pivot. We'll continue. More to come. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. All on the Front Range, this is The Jeff and Bill Show.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now, welcoming our new listeners on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, you are listening to the Jeff and Bill Show. Cap Hill Phil texting in, Maha should have just sent 2 attractive streakers. Would have been better than it would have been more effective than the Mike Tyson ad.
That is funny. The Mike Tyson end was odd. I'm taking advice from Mike. Okay.
All right. Are we heading to war with Iran?
Ooh.
Bill, it looks like the buildup getting very serious. Lots of warships heading out there. And Trump making some strong statements. I mean, there's so much happening in Iran. It's wild. One, some estimates 30,000 protesters have been killed.
Yeah.
This is where I'm like, when the left is like, "Wow, the ICE are Nazis and they're killing," I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea. You want to be critical of law enforcement, that's fine, but you want to see a real authoritarian regime deal with its protesters? That's what you're seeing in Iran. 30,000 dead, shot in the street. I mean, this is wild. The way I'm seeing the buildup, Bill, is very similar to what I saw with Venezuela, where Trump quietly builds. You have ships heading out there. You have major buildup, even with Air Force taking place near Iran. He's talking about negotiating. Then he strikes. That seems to be his MO. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit if you saw a regime change take place in Iran. What do you think?
That's a little bit of what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Trump and the administration believing that the past is a predictor for the future. Because what happened in Venezuela went off so easily, does it then encourage that behavior in the future by the Defense Department? Because we're able to get Maduro so easily, do we then believe that it would be just as easy and painless to grab the leader of Iran? And I don't agree with the Trump administration believing that the way in which we need to confront our enemies, etc., is just to steal their leadership. There hasn't been that much of a functional change, in my opinion, inside of Venezuela. We aren't seeing the large U.S. investment and other things pour in like we were led to believe post grabbing him. So that's what I'm worried about, is that the Trump administration thinks if we just take the leader, then we win. And that's not really how any of this works. I'm not certain that we would then be viewed as wonderful liberators around the Middle East if we just start taking the leadership, even though many of them don't like Iran. I'm worried how we'd be seen there. And it's also a weird play for the president that talked about America first and not being at war. The guy that was supposed to be the president of peace. And now we're going around possibly taking not one leader, but two? That's different.
All right. Trump is... So let's rewind a little bit and look at American history going back to Bush with regards to hostile countries. So under Bush, you have, we're going to invade you, take you over, spend trillions of dollars trying to fix you. It's going to completely fail. And we're going to end up leaving with almost nothing to show other than our own blood and treasure spent in an effort to try to do so. And I think the American people are right to go regime change, long-term, sticking around and spending lives and money trying to change a culture that doesn't want to change, yeah, I get it. I get the idea of this is not going to work anymore. All right, so then Barack Obama runs around and just does drone strikes, targeted drone strikes, but generally everybody kind of stayed there in their positions with the exception of Osama bin Laden. That became the kind of like one time that didn't work. And then for him, that's the one time where Obama actually sent in guys and, took out a leader. That was Osama bin Laden. Trump seems to be going, all right, we're not going to do long-term troop presence in the same way Bush did, but we're also not going to allow these guys to just kind of stick around and do whatever they want in their countries. We're going to take them out and send a very clear message. I mean, when you look at Hezbollah, when you look at Gaza, when you look at Venezuela, yeah, he's taking major leaders out, which you didn't see under Obama. So would you prefer more of an Obama approach where we just kind of let the bad guys continue to run the country and we do targeted drone strikes every once in a while, but not the same force that you see under Trump?
The thing that worries me is that we think that if we just take the leader, then everything else is great. And we left all of Maduro's command and control, all of his people in power inside of Venezuela. Now we're still saber rattling, but part of our issue there is the very expensive boats that we have off the coast. And that's kind of the thing as well with going into Iran, is this thing only holds while our military presence is there. And that's incredibly expensive for the American taxpayer. And I don't think it conforms to the America first, I'm the peace president kind of an idea when we're going around the world capturing leaders of other countries. And I can't figure out that if we remove the Ayatollah, is then Iran going to open into a brand new day of freedom and liberty and possibly even democracy?
No. I actually looked into this yesterday, and it's so broken in Iran right now, in part because there is no central leadership that's taking place there, and it's been pushed and destroyed by the Iranian regime. You don't really have anybody that could step in. You have some reformists who want to change within the existing system. You have revolutionaries that want a total regime collapse. You have monarchists. You remember the Shah? So you have those supporters. You have ethnic and regional groups. You have secular Democrats. You have exiled dissidents. No. Taking out, and I think it's really important to recognize this, that just taking out the Iranian leadership doesn't mean that all of a sudden, hey, things are great. And to that point, I think Capitol Phil's got a fair critique here. There's always a strain of neocon optimism within the Republican Party that thinks, hey, we just bring about some regime change. Things are going to work themselves out. We're not done with Venezuela. We did a great job on the first part, but we're not at all done. And I don't know if anything's going to turn out better in Iraq or Iran. And I also saw what happened to the greatest military in the world that was overstretched with two taxing foreign conflicts at once.
That's kind of my thing. Is
fair critique?
Why do we believe that? I mean, we go back to the original Desert Shield and Desert Storm, but even after that, the idea of the Pottery Barn rule, that if we break it, we bought it. In some ways, I think we're still on the hook for what happens inside of Venezuela because we took their leadership. And it, in my mind, would be the same thing inside of Iran. That if we're just taking the leader and nothing changes functionally inside of Iran, then we wasted our time and effort and put service members' lives on the lines needlessly. But if it is going to be some sort of a stark regime change, how is that implemented and affected? And I think we have a really good example in very recent past with what we're doing with Venezuela. We haven't seen them become this idea of a laboratory of democracy. We don't see them looking towards more freedom and a closer alignment with the United States. And the other thing we didn't see is the American companies racing in there to do investment. I can't imagine there would be a lot of countries or a lot of U.S. companies racing into Iran to any side of major investment because they know how sketchy this is.
But X factor in all this, Israel's desires. What do you think Israel wants to do with the regime in Iran?
They would prefer to kill them all.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, what do you do with that?
Well,
you just try to temper down Israel?
We don't help. That's the first thing is we don't get involved and help them kill them all. We don't get involved in that part of it. And you've got to try to slow walk them a little bit. However, the Donald Trump, hey, I decimated their nuclear program attack showed that we can at times be the attack dog for the Israelis. And I'm using that intentionally because I disagree that the Iran nuclear program was necessarily a threat to the U.S., but I can see it as a threat to Israel. And I think we did that. The other thing that this points us in a direction to ask that if the attacks in Iran were so effective at devastating their nuclear program, then what are we really, really worried about right now? If they don't have the ability, and we decimated any ability they have to enrich uranium and create a bomb, then everything else is conventional. And in some ways, you can keep them inside their box by enforcing their borders and some other stuff. So are they necessarily a direct threat if they don't have that nuclear option on the table?
I think what we saw with October 7th for Israel is that the kind of trim the grass approach, which was every once in a while we got to go out there and deal with Hezbollah and the Palestinians and the Iranians, and everything just kind of hums along, proved to be wrong. That your enemies will build and strategize in an effort to take you out. So allowing them to fester, just sit there, is a very serious problem. And Israel wants the Iranian regime gone. I think it would be better for all of the world, because they're the primary sponsor of a lot of terrorist acts all over this world, to have them gone. So my reading, especially after what happened in Venezuela, with the buildup that's taking place in Iran, the clock's ticking. It is counting down. They will probably not be still there in 6 months. I'm guessing.
Really? Why?
I'm guessing that there will be a whole changeover in the Iranian regime within 6 months, and it'll be because Trump's had it. I think that the Western democracies have had enough of Iran sponsoring all this terrorist activity, and it's going to be addressed, and you're going to see some changes happening there. All right, let's talk Gyrie's, folks. My wife and I went to Gyrie's recently in Parker. They're all over the Denver metro area and had an absolutely incredible experience. We got to sit down with their professional designer, who showed us an incredible selection of Hunter Douglas custom blinds, shades, and shutters. I was a little overwhelmed at first. I've never worked with a professional designer, but she walked us through everything and helped us find the perfect option to enhance the look and functionality of our homes. So whether your curtains are clashing or you just want a fresh look, Gyrie's has the solution for you. Their designers are the experts, and they can help you with everything from window treatments to full room decor. But here's the best part. They offer a personalized in-home consultation. They'll come directly to you, so you can get the same expert advice right in your own home. Do yourself a favor. Get started today. Visit Gyrie's.com to schedule your in-home consultation. That's GUIRYS.com. Go see the great people at Gyrie's. You'll be sure to thank me, and we will continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. All along the Front Range, this is The Jeff and Bill Show.
News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now waking up with AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. Text messages hot on the discussion at hand regarding the military buildup in Iran, just outside of Iran. 0261, Trump has lost interest in domestic issues, but favors bold, quick actions using our military, the success of which remains to be seen despite his claims of victory. These actions feed his ego. He doesn't care about long-term consequences. Well, I agree that the success remains to be seen with everything. I mean, they're still working stuff out in Venezuela. I don't think it's necessarily just about feeding his ego. I think what Trump finds frustrating is these ongoing problems that we just allow to fester, that just sit there and grow and grow and grow. He is a decisive leader. Take action, move. Why do we allow people that are not only harming Israel, which is our ally, but directly funding attacks that harm our own American soldiers? Iran is the largest state sponsor of terrorism out there. So he's not going to put up with it. And these are opportunities he finds to be able to take them on. To Joan's point, with regards to Cuba, she thinks Cuba will fall by March 1st. I think that's another example where Trump's just like, why do we let this little country sit here and deal with this? It's not the 1960s, it's not Bay of Pigs, but this continues to be a problem for our country, and every leader just allows it to continue. So why not confront it? Suzanne, text messaging in, have you ever thought about the fact that not one Trump male or female has ever served in the military? No wonder he's so war-bent. Is he, though? Is he really bent on war? Bush served in the National Guard. George H.W. Bush served in the military and went to war with Iraq. So can you make that same claim? I don't know. Bill, question to you on Iran. Do you think Trump's going to seek regime change there? Do you think you're going to see that type of change that we saw in Venezuela take place in Iran?
Yes, I do. Because Venezuela was so easy. And so I think he's going to try. He thinks that they're all going to be a short putt. And he said if it was so easy to do in Venezuela, which is supposed to be this liberal, socialist, communist country, then why couldn't it be in this other repressive regime? Because it was so easy the first time, I think that he's going to be even more anxious to do it the next time. And the fallout, I think, is severe because, as we saw, taking out the leadership is a whole lot different than occupying or setting the country up to succeed. And I am not convinced in any way that if we remove leadership, however, or let's just say, just for the talk, just for argument's sake today, that there is some sort of a meeting of most of the Iranian political and defense leaders, whatever it is, two different locations. So political in one area, defense in another area, and there's a massive earthquake. Or there's something that happens, not that we affected anything, but some sort of a natural disaster that all of them pass away. I don't think that what we see coming out of that power gap is going to be a functional democracy. And that's what I'm not convinced of. I'm convinced that in those scenarios, it's a power grab for a lot of different reasons. And one of the things that has been instructive for me is after the Soviet Union fell apart, watching Putin put that power back together and how he worked with different regional people that were in charge based on their politics, their power, and their money, and how he got them to heel. And I'm guessing you would see something very similar inside of Iran. So that's what worries me the most. We have had our wars of adventure in the past and felt that regime change was going to be possible, and it has hardly ever, if at all, ever worked out. And that's what I'm worried about.
And that's because the culture has to be Western. in some capacities. Like oftentimes people point to how quickly Japan was able to rebuild or Germany was able to rebuild. But in Afghanistan and Iraq, we have to spend trillions of dollars and the culture never comes around. And the minute you leave, they all kick the girls out of the schools. Culture matters. 8714 texting in, Iran has committed several acts of war upon Americans since the ouster of the Shah. Venezuela has been a thorn in the side of the U.S. for almost 30 years, and Cuba since before I was born. I'm tired of these despots in our corner of the world cozying up to our enemies, and certainly want justice for the thousands killed and maimed in Iraq by Iranian IEDs. Hindsight's always 20/20, but at this point, I'm all for taking care of business in our hemisphere and seeking justice against Iran for many years of their BS. Cut off the head of the snake and let the people take care of the rest.
I respect that position a lot. There's some things that I agree and disagree with on that position, but here is the core problem and enormous question I have with that. During the last election cycle, it was, let's stop going around the world trying to be the world's policeman. It was, America can't solve all the problems. It was, we are spending too much time focusing on other countries and not fixing what's broken with our own. Do we remember that phrase, that America first? We had people talking about even pulling up our drawbridge and bringing all of our troops internationally home and closing the military bases. And now we're 12 to 16 months removed, and all of a sudden we're all gung-ho that we need to have regime change in multiple countries around the world. Someone needs to help me with that. How in the heck did we go from we're not the world's policeman, America first, to we're the world's policeman? How'd that happen?
Pretty simple. Trump realized our military is awesome and can take out bad guys pretty quickly. But to your point,
that's what worries me.
This might put us in some rough spots. All right. Coming up, Mitch Morrissey's going to join us, former district attorney, now with the Common Sense Institute's got a new report out on human trafficking in Colorado. I'll give you the Cliff Notes. It ain't good. It ain't good. And he's going to give us the latest on that. You're not going to want to miss it. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now waking up with Colorado Springs, AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer.